special edition is on South Africa, highlighting the tourism champions who burn the midnight oil with their passion for South Africa. South Africa is a kaleidoscope of unique, iconic, hidden gems intertwined with world-renowned top 10 attractions, namely the Kruger National Park, Table Mountain, Robben Island, Cape Winelands, the Drakensberg, Isimagaliso Wetlands Park, the Durban Golden Mile, Blade River Canyon, Vilakazi Street, which is home to 3 Nobel Peace Prize winners, namely Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, and Albert Luthuli. South Africa also is the foremost suppliers of gold and diamonds to the world. Or you can choose to sip wine at a famous wine farm, or consider the birthplace of world democracy and follow the footprints of legends like Mandela and Gandhi to victorious freedom. We offer a diversity of cultures, delectable cuisine like biltong, boerewors, malva pudding, chakalaka, braai and bunny chow. And our unique, captivating attractions are also on the menu. As a country, South Africa continues to inspire ourselves and the world with unique, new, better ways of overcoming challenges. Innovation inspires new ways to discover the roots of life, best describing the natural character, values and fabric of the people. Tourism is everyone's business in South Africa.
Today is a wonderful day for South Africa because we're featuring South Africa, but more importantly, it is Women's Month. It's Women's Day today. And our guest this morning is Glenn Flanagan from the Prince Imperial Route. You can see she looks like Mother Africa. Welcome, Glenn. Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And happy Women's Day to you and to the lovely ladies in your team.
You have so much of passion. You're an amazing bundle of energy for tourism. You fascinate you. You're one of my mentors. Can you tell me a little bit about the Prince Imperial Route, the highlights of you in the last 2 years?
Well, Bunny, the Prince Imperial Route reflects one aspect of our multicultural heritage in our province. People always associate the French with the Cape, but in fact, we have had as many French people come this way as ever went to the Cape. And amongst these visitors was the young Prince Imperial Louis Napoleon, who came out in the Anglo-Zulu War, and as fate would have it, on the 1st of June 1879, in the closing stages of the war, he was killed in an ambush at Utrecht near Ngutu in northern KwaZulu-Natal. And his monument and the graves of troopers killed with him and a memorial plaque for the Zulu guide who was with them in that patrol marks a very significant spot on the battlefield. So what this route does is merely capitalize, if you like, and reveals and exposes one of the hidden gems in our province, because it's not on the side of Isandlwana and Rorke's Drift, so people tend not to want to go further east. But it is in itself a niche route, if you like, because it's off the beaten track a bit, but worth it to show everybody the glorious panoramas of KwaZulu-Natal.
Absolutely interesting. I don't believe that a lot of people know about this niche product, and I think that your branding, your marketing has been so brilliant. But surely people are going to be discovering this hidden gem. Now, Glenn, you've had special initiatives with the community with this product. Do you want to explain a little bit more about the initiatives that have benefited the community? Because sustainable tourism is so vital with these kind of products.
Absolutely, Bunny. From inception date, as a researcher, I'm a French teacher, French lecturer, and I started this research program as a Franco-Zulu cultural excursion to the battlefields with learners in the secondary school. And we were looking at the story of the Prince Imperial and the story of King Shaga. And I didn't see any point in developing a cultural tourism research development project without communities benefiting. So I'm very pleased to show you that on the Battlefields Route brochure this year, we have here a reflection of what it was from day one in March 1995, where I went to the local school and said to the headmaster, would you like to become involved? He said yes. And to fast track, over all these years, that community next to the Prince Imperial Monument have benefited from classrooms, rain tanks, water tank, arts and crafts. The challenge is, in spite of this very steady and sure development, one needs leadership on the ground. I live 315 kilometers away from that community, so it makes it very difficult. So that's where the challenge is. And then, as part of the development, we have the brochures, obviously, to highlight it for the tourists. As you can see, we've applied this research in various ways, not only those practical benefits for that community, but because I'm actually based in Pietermaritzburg, we started 10 years ago when I retired as a lecturer to tourism management students and public relations students in French. We actually formed this partnership with communities around Pietermaritzburg that was out at Eastwood, to Bantu, France, and this last year we were in Northdale. And through the French Embassy, we've set up a food security project. We have a team of agricultural students who come out from Reunion Island, and they spend 1 week in the school working with the learners for sustainable vegetable gardening projects. And so since 1995, besides having set up a route, besides having had a rose developed, the Prince Imperial Rose, besides having had a museum on site this is set up through Rotary Dundee, paid for by Reunion Island learners, a museum exhibition, an annual French week. We've had this steady application of everything we've done, working very closely in Pietermaritzburg with Project Gateway, with partners in tourism like yourselves, who actually support our initiative and what it is that we are trying to do so that communities can get involved. But it is a slow process, and we can't take the next step without partnership. And that's where we would like to thank you and African Link and the Freedom Route from inception. It's very much, as you know, the French Revolution. So liberté, égalité, fraternité. They're the essence of what you have developed for your Freedom Route in Pietermaritzburg and in the Midlands and in our province. So bravo, partner. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. I think it's all about collaboration. And this is why tourism is so successful, is because it's working with like-minded people. Now, Glenn, you also have a week's celebration, commemoration in Pietermaritzburg on the route. Do you want to explain a little bit of the program, what you do annually?
Thank you, Bunny. Wonderful to have the chance to do this. Well, French Week focuses on our partnership, especially geared towards young people, if I can put it like that. The Prince was only 23 when he died. His destiny was a very sad one. But because of his young age, I've always tried to associate what I'm doing and the development of what I'm doing with young people, obviously as a teacher and as a lecturer. But in French Week itself, we start off with a guided tour to the Prince Imperial exhibition at the Mzanduzi Museum. On the Tuesday, we have, the French gastronomic profile is well known across the world. We have a Prince Imperial lunch, and the main dish is poulet marengo, one of the favorite dishes of Napoleon, the Prince Imperial's great uncle and one of his heroes, because of his military strategy expertise, like King Shaga. We have a luncheon. Everybody pays for himself, herself. On the Wednesday, we have a concert, normally at Project Gateway, where we invite, it's a platform for performers. And we've had a very close relationship in the last years with Chislehurst Arts and Academics and Arts, a wonderful school in our city that promotes the arts and obviously the academics. And we, with them and the fashion students from Project Gateway, we launched this concert every year, the Prince Imperial concert. On the Wednesday night, we have a Franco-Italian evening because the Bonapartes originally all came from Italy. And with the Italian language school, we have a pizza evening. And that, of course, people pay for themselves. On the Thursday, we've had in the last couple of years a guided tour to St. Mary's Church in Pietermaritzburg, built by the French Oblates of Mary Immaculate, a French missionary order. And their parish extended from the Zambezi right the way down to the Kai River, all the way up into Lesotho. So all that was under French influence through the church. And Michael Lambert, who's an expert retired lecturer, gives us this very informative guide of St. Mary's Church, which is the most Gallic church in southern Africa. The stained glass windows, the altar, all the material came from France. And it is a church that is very popular, and the parish is very active in Pietermaritzburg. On the Friday, funding permitting, but so far we've been lucky, we have an official reception in the Tatham Art Gallery. Now, the Tatham Art Gallery is where we actually launched this project on the 2nd of November, 1995. I was in Paris, I went to UNESCO, and I said, this is what I would like to do. And I don't want it to be esoteric. I don't want it to be journals that lie on shelves and nobody looks at. How do I make this public so that we can get the participation? And they said to me, you must have a public launch in an institution that belongs to ICOM, the International Council of Museums. And at that stage, it was the Tatham Art Gallery in Pietermaritzburg. So we had Professor John Leband, prominent historian on the Anglo-Zulu War, to launch it. We had our first little exhibition in partnership with the Mzunduzi Museum. We had this public launch in the Tatham Art Gallery, which I might add has 72 works of art by French artists. Then on a Saturday morning in St. Mary's Chapel, which is the first Catholic church in KwaZulu-Natal, built by the French Oblates of Mary Immaculate, we have a memorial mass for the Prince Imperial. Now, over these last years, this concept of this memorial mass, which I started in liaison with Biarritz in France, where there's an imperial chapel, has grown enormously. And now all over France, we are in liaison with communities, cultural and heritage, and people who see the importance of focusing on the life of this young man. We have this liaison with all these people, and some of these people have wanted to come out this year to follow in the route. But of course, COVID-19, dictating, we haven't been able to do that. So after the memorial mass, if the ambassador or the consul general of France, who's usually the invited guest from the embassy, if they haven't seen the exhibition in the museum, we do a quick pause there. Then we set off on La Route du Prince Imperial Route Napoleon, which actually starts in Durban, because that's where the prince would have disembarked. Durban, Maritzburg, Seven Oaks, Greytown, Tugela Ferry, Pomeroy, Dundee. And in Pomeroy, there's a French Augustinian order, originally French. The Augustinian sisters came out to set up nursing, and they came in the late 1880s, brought out by the bishop, the French bishop. And the sisters run an AIDS program. They look after more than 500 AIDS orphans. And so we've been helping them over the years. When we get to Dundee, we have a French evening, and we spend the evening at Chez Nous Bed and Breakfast. Elizabeth Durham, a French woman, the only French resident in Dundee, runs her bed and breakfast, Chez Nous, which means at our place. Like Kwa Zulu means the place of the Zulus, so She is the equivalent of Kwa. And we have a French evening there with a very nice French-style dinner. And the next morning, we're out in the community at the Prince Imperial Monument. You can see here a picture of the monument precincts. This is in November when the jacaranda tree is blooming. And we lay wreaths, which the French embassy normally provides for us. And our invited guests, we always invite the Nkosi, the Induna is there, the community is there. And the success of that participation depends on the inspiration of the Nkosi, of the Induna, and of course over the years there are ups and downs with that. Then after the formal ceremonies, people either return to Pietermaritzburg or they can extend their visit to northern KwaZulu-Natal by going down across the coastline. And I have sent previous to your office the map, the road map. But I'm very happy to send information to anybody who's interested and would like further details. So all in all, that wraps up French Week, which we started in 1995. So as you can see, the T-shirt I'm wearing, it says 2017, 21st anniversary. So now 3 years later, we're 1 year older than the poor prince was when he died at the age of 23. So his story has been a starting point for further cultural tourism development, because I was struck in the similarity of his story. There's a difference in age between his story and the story of King Dinizulu. Both of them raised in the military mold. Both of them had heroes in their lives. The Prince Napoleon I, King Dinizulu, King Cetshwayo, his father, and King Shaka. Both of them disillusioned when they lost in wars. Both of them sent into exile, the prince into England, King Dinizulu to St. Helena, and that's what fired me up. I went to St. Helena to pursue this research, and there was exposed to me this whole story of King Dinizulu sent to St. Helena in exile, and the 25 Zulu chiefs who were sent there after the uprising, the Bombata rebellion. So KwaZulu-Natal has so many very concrete links through heritage, cultural, historical, with interesting places like St. Helena, mainland France, Italy, Spain. The Prince Imperial's mother, who came out a year after his death, was Spanish, but she was the Empress of the French. It was the Anglo-Zulu War, so English. We've got the French participation in the Anglo-Boer War. One of the great generals on the Boer side was a French general, a volunteer. So we've got such a rich tapestry of cultural and historical heritage, possibilities, potential in our province, which I don't think we actually explore enough. And might I add, cherry on the top for our liaison with you is that French is hugely popular in India, Kerala, Pondicherry, and the French Teachers Association in India, and I belong to 3 of their associations, is very vibrant. And if you think of what we've got in Maritzburg with our fire walking ceremony, with the temples, we've got so much that can link us just like a gold thread across the world and to be enjoyed together.
Amazing, amazing. Wow, your passion inspires me. It's just unreal how much of energy and commitment and dedication you have to this project. Now, Glenn, in closing, what would be your message for prospective clients and other stakeholders that would be interested in the project or to experience it?
Well, I would say thank you, Bunny. I would certainly say please keep us in mind. Don't ignore KwaZulu-Natal. You know, we are the really African component of South Africa. I mean, as I've mentioned, people associate the French with the Cape, the wine. Very nice, thank you. We have had Prince Imperial wines, I might add. Can you see that? We have had Empress Eugenie wines, can you see that? And we need partnership for that. But the fact is that if you come to KwaZulu-Natal to follow this route, you are taken from the busy, vibrant port of Durban through the absolute panoramic vistas of the interior of our province, which are truly African, the magnificent Tugela Valley with its rolling hills and its deep valleys, and the Tugela River. It's a part of KwaZulu-Natal in Africa that people are totally unaware of. They take the N3, they take the N2, but they don't know the gem that lies between. And that is the route of the Prince Imperial Louis Napoleon. And through that, you've got the battlefields, you could do a diversion to the Drakensberg, you can take in the coast. So my message to prospective tourists is take heed of what I'm saying, explore the interior to see what you have hitherto unexplored, unknown, and unappreciated, really. And with that, you can have this extra cultural infusion. And everybody likes a little bit of the, well, most people, bit of the ooh la la, what's French, the French tweak. And as it is a Franco-Zulu tweak, it's a double gem, if you like, double cultural gem.
Well, thank you so much, Glenn. It was such a pleasure talking to you and listening to this energy, the information, and the hidden gems that you have been working on. I just would like to wish you everything of the best. And this is Bunny Bhoola from the Dope News on our series African Voices. Thanking Glenn Flanagan for her explanation on the Prince Imperial Route. And we'd like to wish you all bye, stay blessed, and please subscribe and like our posts on social media. Thank you. Bye.
Merci beaucoup, Bunny. Au revoir. Bonne journée. Bonne fête de femmes.